Hello, everyone. We are live, and today I am connecting with Bella. So let me invite her um, as a collaborator. Let's see. Good morning. I'm here in Japan, so
Right.
oh,
Good job. We
Bella.
did it. Let me scoot back a little bit. I'm a little close to this camera. How are you?
Excellent. I'm gonna put myself. Is that good?
It's perfect. Yeah, you look great.
Ah, thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. And this is our first time connecting,
Yeah, yeah.
and I have
Oh,
you.
look at you.
You can kill my vibe.
That's right. You cannot kill my vibe.
That's great. I love your humor.
Thank you. I loved your book too, by the way. Loved it.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
I went through. First of all, a great, beautiful design.
thank
Did,
you.
did you work with someone on the design of?
Canva.
Oh wow, it's gorgeous. It's
I
gorgeous.
got lucky.
I love it. So yeah, would you like to share a bit about? Let me just do a bit of what I've learned
Okay.
through your book. So you have been on this journey for 11 years, and you started out this journey because of high blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you were a bit lost in your life, and you didn't really want to go into this raw vegan lifestyle, but it kind of pushed you to this
Yeah. Yeah.
lifestyle. And you're very grateful. You're happy. You're vibrating, radiant, and looking gorgeous now.
Thank you.
And your book is very thorough.
Mm.
It's really a guide for someone who is going through as a, who doesn't know about this lifestyle. it
Mhm.
it's a very solid guideline to go through. So
Mm.
happy that you put out all the details on what to do on the awkward situation. Well, and yeah, so that's what I learned. I have quite a few questions, but uh, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. That was such a nice introduction, actually. Yeah, you nailed it. I did not want to go raw. I went vegan when I was 19. I went vegetarian when I was 16. And then I went vegan for the moral convictions, you know. I didn't want to participate in the torture of animals, all of that stuff. And that was hard enough socially. It was hard enough being a vegan in social life. And so when the raw craze started up, and I saw you were in New York when that happened. I was in LA in the early 2000s. And so we were both in the spots where it was becoming very trendy. And I remember when people started talking about raw food, I was just like, oh, God, give me a break. I was like, that is ridiculous. I was so nasty. When I think about the things I said about raw foodism back then, I'm like so embarrassed. But I was really just being like reactive because it was, like I said, it was hard enough being a regular vegan in social situations. The last thing I wanted to do was put myself in an even tougher spot. But like you said, went through a very difficult time in my life, as I talk about in the book, and I ended up getting sick, and I wasn't about to start taking medication. So I was willing to do whatever it took, even if it meant swallowing my pride and admitting that maybe I had been a little bit too harsh on something that could potentially work. And it did. Yeah. So that's where I am now.
It's funny, right? Like sometimes our life is not what we plan. That life kind of pushes you to where you are supposed to go. When
Hmm.
So I'm so glad, even though it wasn't an easy, um, it was due to health challenge and it wasn't an easy path.
Mhm.
But I'm glad that you're part of my community.
Aw.
We need someone like you, definitely. And you, not just that you're doing a raw vegan and you're doing consultation work.
Mhm.
You're also a piano teacher, is that?
Yeah, that's actually piano and singing is actually my main thing. That's really what most of my life and most of what people know me for. That's what I do. In fact, I just finished a piano lesson and I'm going to do another one after this. That's how I spend most of my time. Yeah, the raw food though is kind of like my love, my passion. I don't really get a lot of money out of it at all. It's really just something I love to do, and it's been a big part of my life, and now I'm trying to do more, which is why I'm so glad that I was invited to be part of this bundle. And now I get to meet really cool people like you. This is my second live, and it's been super fun making new friends, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. I just like you, I do this out of love and
Mhm.
things like what you shared in your book, right? This is like really a complete guide for someone who
Mhm.
are
Mhm.
new, and it's like you have it all laid out in your book. But how is it with your day job as a
Mhm.
piano teacher and singer? How is it going with this very intense time of bundle?
Oh my God, this is the craziest timing because it's also recital season. And so I'm preparing all of my students for recitals. We have one next weekend, and then I have another one. I teach in Northern California and Southern California. I do it like online for my SoCal and then my local kids. So I have to prepare for two recitals while I'm promoting this bundle at the same time. But I have to say, it's been kind of fun, you know. I kind of like being really busy. So it's all good.
Me
Yeah.
too, me too. Yeah, it's a crazy time as well. I've been really, this is also a very busy time for me for my
Yeah.
job, but it's all good. I love everything I do. It's just that
Mhm.
I just hope, wish that I have, you know, I don't know, 100 hours per day.
I know, right? And then how wonderful that I feel like the raw food gives me so much energy that I kind of need a lot of things to do, or else I'll start to go a little stir crazy. Do you
Yeah,
feel that?
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
The food prep, and a lot of people say that it takes time. I don't have time. I just want to grab something on the way. But I mean, grab something on the, yeah, it'd be great if I can just grab something
Mhm.
raw vegan, low fat
Yeah.
way I eat, but I mean, it doesn't exist. So
Mhm.
I it takes time, but it gives me more energy. I mean, if I
Mhm.
eat it this way, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
I think you feel that you probably feel the same way. But like a lot of people are always saying like Kiko, like, oh, I mean, do you ever sleep? Like I do sleep, but I'm super, intense and I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. And
Mhm.
it's really thanks to this lifestyle, because
Mhm.
when I eat cooked food,
Mhm.
my energy is not like, uh, it's completely different. So
I
yeah,
understand.
anyway, it's
Yeah.
today it's about you, and I wanted to ask you
Mhm.
some questions. So okay. So is this your first book, or have you written any other book?
I wrote another book. It's called Straight from the Soil, and it's a raw food book. And I focused. It's a nutrition and recipe book. I wrote it after I finished my. I did the Mastering Raw Food Nutrition program with doctors Rick and Karen Dina, and I wanted to. We do a project at the end of that program, and I wanted to use it as a sort of like a jumping off point for a bigger project. So the first half of the book is all nutrition, and it's based on everything I learned in their class. And I focused on beauty food nutrition. And so I talk a lot in the book about how raw food can make your skin really clear and your hair strong, and like you're very vibrant, you have this beautiful thick hair and this smooth skin and white teeth, like the kinds of things that we pay all this money for things that actually cause us a lot of harm and in the end don't even do anything. So that book I wrote, but I haven't really promoted it that much because I wrote it during the pandemic, and it was just a really weird time to publish a book about raw food. So it's out there and I promote it when I can. And then I did a 3-day meal plan that's like an ebook. And I have another shorter ebook called Raw Vegan Motivator, which is sort of like the prequel to what I ended up doing for the bundle, just trying to help people stay motivated on the path.
That's amazing. I mean, you've done so much already. So
Mm.
yeah, that's amazing. I know Dr. Karen's course. That's a very solid book, and so I know it's yeah, it's amazing that you were able to put together of what you learned. I'm sure there's a huge value on that book. So definitely,
I think so.
yeah, definitely. And it's not a, cheap course. It's a very solid and I mean, I heard I was considering of taking their class, and I backed off because of the pricing.
It's expensive. I know. It's an investment. I looked at it like I took that class after being raw for I think I think I might have been 5 years in, maybe 6 years. I can't remember exactly how long. And I had already hit a wall in my self study. I'm a kind of an obsessive student where I'm a self taught learner primarily, and I'll read every book I can get my hand on. I'll watch every documentary, every podcast, interview, whatever. And I kind of like hit a wall. There was nowhere for me to go, which is why I ended up looking for a nutrition program. And I had Dr. Karen's book as well, the Raw Food Nutrition Handbook, I think is what it's called. It's very good. And then I signed up for their class, and it was honestly one of the best investments I've ever made in my life.
Oh,
I really recommend it to anybody. I know it's a lot of money, but I see it as I feel like I'm set up for life now, for my health. Like
wow.
I have a really good foundation where whenever anything has come up, I feel like it gave me a good solid grasp on how nutrition works so that I can read through, because nutritional science is a bit, you have to be so careful when taking advice. But I thought they did such a solid job with it.
That's amazing. So the book you wrote,
Mhm.
summarizing that course, what's the name of it?
Straight from the soil.
Oh, okay, that's the one, Straight from the Soil. That what a great name for that book.
Thank you. Thank you. I keep going back and forth thinking like, oh, I should have named it something more like, since it was primarily focused on beauty food nutrition, I keep thinking I'm going to rebrand it as like natural beauty foods, just like name it what it is. But I have so much going on. I don't want to deal with that.
Oh, really? I love it though. I think it's kind of like a nice balance, health and beauty, but
Yeah.
it's, it is coming from the straight from the soil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's amazing. So yeah, if anyone, yeah, go follow Bella. She's got an amazing Instagram, and learning from her. I'm sure if someone cannot afford Dr. Rick's
Mhm.
and Karen's course, Bella is a great person to go to. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm certified in raw food education from them. So that's whenever I do one-on-one coaching, I use the stuff they taught me.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've gone through their course, which is in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle.
Mhm.
And yeah, I definitely agree that they're very thorough and
Mhm.
solid, and they're going through the nutritional facts
Mhm.
that are sometimes difficult for us to digest and yeah, apply to our daily life. So I'm
Mhm.
grateful for their information. It's fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
so how long did it take? My question, next question is, how long did it take for you to finish this book? For the You Can't Kill My Vibe book.
I think I did it like hyper speed. Normally, I don't want you to think that this is normal for me. I normally take a long time to do things, but Melissa didn't invite me until like pretty far along, and so I only had a few weeks to do it. That's why it's not like 100-page book. It's only around 50 pages. If I had had maybe a little more time, I could have maybe done more, but yeah, I kind of worked day and night to get it done.
So just few weeks?
Yeah,
Some,
yeah. I
yeah,
know. I kind of hesitate to share that because I don't want it to seem like that's normal. It's not normal by
but
any means.
that yeah. I had I had an Insta live with Chris Kendall, and
Mhm.
he also said he a few weeks, and
Wow.
yeah, I mean, his information is amazing, but mind you, like he has been doing it for over 20 years. I also have been doing it for,
Mhm.
over 20 years. You have been doing it for 11 years. It's
Mhm.
something we have been doing it and just kind of,
Yeah, true, true. You just kind of take your life experience and go, okay, I can do this. Because when she asked me to join, I was like, yeah, I want to join. And so we were trying to figure out what I could do in a short period of time. And I had actually, it's amazing the coincidence. I was just about to launch my new blog that day. I had already written up my first post, and I was playing around with a title, which is Raw Vegan, No Friends, because I was like,
that's so true. That
I was like, I feel like I really want to write a lot more about this lifestyle that I'm on. And I think it's so weird and funny that I don't actually know anybody in my personal life. Uh-oh.
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to wave someone because it's quite a for joining.
Oh, how wonderful. We have some friends.
Okay,
But
please.
but yeah, the timing was so funny. She since she was like, "Well, let's figure out what you can do very quickly." And I told her about my blog idea and she thought it was funny. So I was like, okay, somebody thinks it's a cool idea. What if I write about what it's like to be the only raw vegan, like everywhere?
Yeah, which is so funny because you are in LA. It's like
I
rock,
know.
and I'm thinking like I thought I am alone because I'm in Japan.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I was quite surprised and also pleased that in your book you mentioned that you're still a weirdo. I mean, right? I mean, there are like a raw vegan or group in LA. I think there's a quarterly worldwide raw vegan meetup. Is that in LA?
So I moved away from LA a couple years ago.
Huh.
And so I think she started those within the last year and a half. And so when I was living there, plus LA is huge. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's so spread out.
No.
And most of the raw vegans I feel were living on the other side of town. Like I lived more towards the east side. It's the west side where you would find a lot of the raw vegan types. And I did go to a few meetups. I even hosted a few on my own. And I met some, but LA is a very funny place socially. It's actually really hard to make friends, period, whether they're raw vegan or not. And so it just never happened. And now I'm in Northern California. And so now I've gotten to have like a whole spectrum. and it's really not raw vegan friendly up here, like even less so than down in Southern California. It's really funny. But who knows? I think maybe now that I'm being a little bit more expressive publicly, I think I'm going to start a meetup group at some point, and so I might find that there are a lot of people who are actually open-minded to it, and I just don't know it yet. I don't know.
Yeah. So are you in San Francisco or which area of the, oh,
I'm in the Sonoma County area,
okay.
the wine country.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing. I thought that Californians have it much easier being a raw vegan, but yeah, it's not a mainstream anywhere, right?
I mean, in some ways, the produce here, the fresh produce at the grocery stores are good. And you can go to grocery stores and find items like kelp noodles. Like it's easy to find kelp noodles and untoasted nori, things like that makes it a little bit easier. But going to a restaurant is still just as challenging as anywhere else.
Yeah, and by the way, you talk about dating scene in your
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I've been with the same guy for a long time and he's not a vegan. He's not raw. And so that's kind of where my authority comes from. But I it's been so long, but I remember I always dated non-vegans, always. Like I've only ever had one vegan boyfriend in my whole life. So I know it's possible. Most people find that really strange and they don't know how they would be able to navigate it. And I understand that. I totally get it. It does come with challenges. But as long as the other person is open-minded, and I mean, I'm in control of the kitchen. So it's raw vegan in this house almost exclusively anyway.
Oh, fantastic. So your partner is open to eating raw vegan food?
He eats whatever I make.
That's great.
Yeah. And then if he wants something else, he puts it in the oven and or he makes it himself, or we go to a restaurant and he eats whatever he wants at the restaurant. I don't like give him a hard time or anything about it.
Wow. Yeah, so that's a huge thing that he is open, right? Even though he might not be vegan or raw vegan, but if he's okay eating whatever you put on the table, that's a huge thing.
Hmm.
Oh,
He's actually pretty grateful, actually. It's interesting because he's not the kind of person who would ever go raw on his own, but he recognizes all the health benefits
mm,
from eating this way, and he gets to eat this way without having to like do anything. So,
uh, it's great that he recognized that. I mean, how
mhm,
millions and thousands and millions of people who wants to be in his shoe, really
mhm, mhm.
gorgeous women preparing meal
Aw.
so delicious and great for your food. It's a lot of prepping on your side, but
Mhm.
yeah, honestly, that's great.
It's an interesting thing. I feel like the hardest part in a situation like that is actually I have to check myself for being judgmental, you know? Like it's important to me that he doesn't judge me, but I catch myself all the time being judgmental, you know? I
Mhm.
think that's actually one of the hardest things about, like, that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of vegans wouldn't want to go out with a non-vegan, because it is kind of a lot to process. It's like there have been many moments where he'll order something at a restaurant and I'll just find myself thinking like I'll just start feeling like why can't you just you know So I understand it's not an easy thing, but if there are other things that draw you together, and there's more to life than just how you eat.
Sure, yeah, definitely. We are definitely in a not majority, and
Mhm.
you have been with your partner for a long time. You said, right?
Mhm.
It's important that he respects how you eat. That's the most important thing, right? And
Mhm.
so um, that's he's actually a minority out there.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have another question. What was your challenge in writing this book? You said that it was only a few weeks, that it was very intense time writing this book. What was your challenge in writing this book? This is the third or fourth book that you wrote?
I really wanted to share my personal story, which I do at the beginning, and I would like to go a little bit deeper into that at some point. That was hard for me to do. In fact, when I read your story, I was really impressed with how personal you got. And when I read your story, it actually helped me feel better about being personal in my own introduction because it was, I don't know, it's hard to share personal challenges, but I felt like it was really important to share with people because if you're going to go raw and be the only raw person in your world, you have to feel like you have to have a strong sense of conviction. And I thought it would only be effective me telling people, hey, you can be the only raw vegan person in the room. It's totally fine. I thought it would only be effective if I shared how serious it was for me to make that decision and to and the reason I went raw was for a crisis. I was in a crisis situation, and you have to remember these reasons when you are at the table of, say, your fiance's family dinner table, and they're you're already nervous about them liking you, and you have to explain to them why you're not going to eat the pot roast or whatever it is that his mother made. Oh my God.
My God, I I can so relate to that.
You know, you have to remember, like, no, I'm doing this for a really serious purpose. I can't sacrifice it. I have to stand my ground. If they don't like me, they don't like me, you know?
Yeah, and we learned that actually people don't care. People forget. We
Yeah.
offended on whatever they say, but I've been surprised. Like, so I've been on this journey for over 2 decades, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of like a pleaser.
Yeah.
I don't want to make anyone feel bad intentionally.
Mhm.
Right? I'm direct. There are some certain messages that I want to uh, get across to people, but generally speaking, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. So being vegan, that's like you said, at 16, that's a very sensitive time to be vegan. So uh, I mean, congratulations to you choosing
Mhm.
that. And then on raw vegan, that's also another level. And
Mhm.
as you were mentioning, you need that. We need that conviction, right?
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, people don't care. They forget.
It's true.
And
So
we are with, we have us all the time. So we need to have that mindset and, oh, this is what it is for me. And people need to respect as much as we respect others.
I agree. I think you're right. I think it's an important point to remember that most people really are not thinking about it. There's a brief moment where it feels awkward, and you might end up dwelling on it for a little while, but there's a pretty good chance they've already forgotten about it. Like you said, they really don't care. They really don't. They might actually judge you a little bit for a moment, but then they're moving on to the next thing, and it really doesn't matter. You're right.
Exactly. So, yeah, so how so you had this high blood pressure. How
Hmm.
did it take for you to stabilize to like healthy life that you were hoping to get?
I can't say for certain how long it took me because I took 30 days of going fully raw and I didn't check my blood pressure the whole time. But after 30 days, my blood pressure was stabilized.
That's amazing. 30 days, that I feel like that's a key length that
Hmm.
people need to stick with this diet for, you know, at least a month or so to really feel the true benefit of it.
Hmm. I
Mhm.
agree. I agree. 30 days is a really good, it's doable. Anybody can do 30 days of something. And if it doesn't work, you can go back to your normal life. You know, that was the deal I made with myself. I'll do this for 30 days. I can handle it and I'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, I don't have to do it again.
Well, so you have made it. You made a commitment that
Mhm.
to be 30 days. That's amazing. I I have a hard time sticking to the schedule, but congratulations on sticking to your plan. What was the protocol that you went through?
For the raw food, like what did I do for 30? I did like hardcore fully raw, even no dried herbs. Like I wasn't 100% sure. Like I didn't know what all the different styles of raw were yet. I just knew that it was raw. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be raw. So I only used fresh herbs, no dried herbs, no condiments, nothing. So I did the super pure uh fruits and vegetables. That's it. And I remember I just felt amazing, amazing. And I became this really weird, annoying person to everybody I met. Where everybody I talked to, they would be like, "What are you doing?" Like they could tell something was going on with me, that I would looked a little different. And I was like, I'm on a raw vegan diet. And they were just like, oh no. Like the reaction I used to give people like that, I was seeing it from the other side.
But it's true. We can't keep our mouths shut when you go through eyes like, oh, I was like, you need to get in my shoe to feel this paradise is in my head.
Exactly. Exactly. It was I still have memories. I remember this one time back then I was driving to all of my piano students and I would have like 4 or 5 students a day driving in LA traffic and I was like high. I was high off of these fruits and vegetables. And I remember showing up to one of my family's house and the mom answered the door and she was like, "You look different. You look,
Mm.
what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm on a raw vegan diet." And she was like, "Oh my God, you're doing that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I feel high all the time."
Yeah.
And after that I was like, I need to tone it down. Like after I talked to a client like that, I was like, I gotta chill out. Like nobody wants to hear this. That's
Yeah.
why I started writing about it and doing Instagram so I could stop annoying everybody.
You're you're funny.
Like find my audience, instead of bothering all the non-vegans in my life.
That's true. I mean, what we eat definitely what we eat. We are all what we eat, right? And it
Mhm.
really this what we eat elevate us, like raw vegan diet elevate us. And I mean, it's just logic. When we eat this fruit vegetable with vibrant color, it's like spring, right? It's like
Mhm.
fresh green and pink, purple, yellow. And if we have that, all if we consume that in our body and we feel that way instead of that animal uh,
Mhm.
who went through horrific pain and
Yeah.
trauma. And it's I I definitely don't want to support animal um,
Yeah.
suffering. But not only that, like I do not want to consume that in my body. Our body is our temple, and it's funny what your story of like you were like, oh my God, I am hot, and yeah, we need to tone it down for people who eat differently,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and thank God that you had that outlet to share your journey in blog that people can, if they feel like it, right? Because there are time that you were not ready to go raw vegan at some point. So
Hmm.
now you're fully on for over 11 years.
Hmm.
When people want to connect, then they can go to your blog and to be inspired. And now you have a few books, so it's excellent.
Thank you. And kudos to you too. I mean, 2 decades is no joke. I wonder what I'm gonna be like when I reach my 20-year mark of being raw. I, who knows? I mean, probably like this. I feel like raw food just kind of like stops the aging process almost.
Yeah, but I haven't been on. Are you 100%? Are you on fully raw right now?
I'm like 90% raw. I still eat beans cooked. I don't like sprouted beans. And when I go to restaurants, I'll sometimes eat a cooked dish if I'm super hungry and the salads look really depressing, you know.
I love it.
Other than that, my day-to-day life is totally raw. Like I'm really hardcore.
Mhm.
But to be just totally transparent, yeah, I just kind of say I'm 90% raw, just to be technical.
That's great. Yeah, so I have been on this journey for over 2 decades, but
Mhm.
there are times that I ate a bit too much cooked vegan food in
Yes. Yeah.
restaurants. And just recently, my body is rejecting cooked food, or
Mhm.
like I can now, every time I eat just a tiny bit of cooked food, my body just like gets shocked and I get like pimples.
Uh,
So, but yeah, it's
yeah, I can relate.
yeah,
When I,
definitely.
when I do the restaurant thing, I always kind of regret it afterwards. I never really am happy about it. I just do it because I don't feel like being. I used to be really hardcore, where I'd go to a restaurant and I would be like, "I'm gonna have this salad, and can you please add avocado?" Like I did the whole trick that you do, and then one day I was just like, "This is so ridiculous," and so I just now I order cooked vegan food, but I always hate it the next day. I just always feel a little bit bad. Yeah.
Yeah, the restaurant food is kind of tricky because like if I do steamed food at home, or,
Yeah.
simple food doesn't have that much reaction.
Yeah.
When I go to a restaurant and ask for something very simple,
Hmm.
completely different, and we don't know what's going on behind the scene. I'm in
Yeah.
the restaurant business, and I'm like, I don't,
Yeah.
I should not be ordering that.
I know I try not to think about it. I really, I do think about it sometimes and I'm just like, what are they like? I will think about like the grill they're cooking it on, and I worry like what did they cook on that grill before they made yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely I when I go to restaurants, I have to yeah, I have to block my mind of what's going on behind the scene and try to enjoy.
Yeah.
But honestly, recently I decided not to go, and I have my raw vegan cafe in Kyoto, so that's
Yeah.
a place for me to connect with people and nourish people with the most amazing food. That
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah. So, oh, I just want to be mindful with our time. How much more do you?
Oh,
Well,
that's right. We should probably wrap up in like 5 minutes or so. And by the way, I'm really looking forward to interviewing you as well. So if anybody is watching this, I hope they'll subscribe to me so that they get the notification. We're gonna talk on Tuesday, or
Yeah.
it's my Tuesday. Is it your Wednesday?
Yeah, I think so.
The time
Yeah.
difference is so big.
It's this whole thing of, converting time is been quite an interesting learning curve for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, so is there anything else? I know that we have to wrap it up. I'm so first of all, I'm so happy to connect with you. Beautiful Bella. I love your Instagram. It's
Mm.
believe that you have your a lot going on in your day job, and then at the same time you're able to do this beautiful presentation on Instagram. I have so much to learn from you.
Oh,
And
thank you.
yeah, and then the book is amazing. Congratulations again for I was quite impressed that you were able to put this in just a few weeks, because it's very well organized, a very thorough book. So congratulations to you for that.
Thank
Any
you.
anything else that you want to share before we leave?
I think I'll leave on just my whole my whole purpose right now is to try and be as I want to just share my experiences that I've had over the last, not just the last 11 years being raw, but the last over 25 years of being plant-based and being different. I really want to reach people who are in that position, especially because I've met so many people who have told me that they tried to go vegan, or they even like I've even met people who said they tried to go raw for like a month and they loved it. They felt so good, but it was just too hard to keep up with because of all the social factors, their family and their work and the parties and the restaurants and everything. And it was just not possible, and I hear them and I think to myself, I don't understand because I've been able to do it for such a long time. And if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. And so I'm really hoping that with my book and with my blog, Raw Vegan No Friends, I'm really hoping that I can reach people and let them know that, look, you're not alone. Like, I'm here, okay, and I've been doing it on my own for a long time. And I anticipate that through these connections, which, by the way, thank you for all the kind things you said. I'm so excited to get to know you too. After reading your book, I was like, we have so much in common. I can't believe it. And it's so ironic that I just started a blog called Raw Vegan No Friends, because I'm like, I think I'm going to have so many raw friends like in a very short period of time. So anyway, my point here is I want to reach people who feel like they can't stand up for their health because they're afraid to go against the grain in their social world. And I'm here to tell them that's not a good reason. You have to stand up for yourself, and I hope I can inspire some people to do that.
You definitely are. Definitely follow Bella. Her Instagram is amazing. This ultimate raw vegan bundle is amazing for us to connect. And this live is free, during 11 days. So much information, so many pioneers, raw vegan pioneers are on this Instagram. So much information, just like Bella, who has learned this solid nutrition from Dr. Rick and Karen. I think it's such a gift, and it's one of the best investment you can make. Only $50 for an
I know.
amazing. It's like mind blowing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's I want to tell everyone that go get it. It's
Yeah,
this limited time that you can buy. It's $50 that people just buy. This could be a lunch price or dinner price,
exactly. Like
and
for the price of one meal, they can get there's so much information. Even if you just go to the sales page and you see all the books and the courses, I kept looking at it and I kept thinking, imagine if when I had hit that wall in my self-study, if this bundle had been around, which it wasn't back then, imagine if it had been around. Wow, I would have totally bought it every single year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we're not the only weirdo
Yes.
as well. Oh, there's someone, Uni Ao,
Oh,
he said he's from Brazil. I love raw foods. And yeah, Brazil is an amazing place to be a raw vegan
mm,
twice
mm,
for 2 months total. And it's just so no brainer. Like
really.
fruits everywhere. Yeah.
All the it's tropical, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. The tropics are the best place to be raw. They just have so much good fruit, and the humidity is so difficult for most people, but when you're raw, it's like this amazing blanket on your skin. It just feels
Mm,
so good.
true, true, true.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be mindful with our time. Thank you again, Bella, for this time and sharing your great knowledge. And I just love getting to know you a little more behind this amazing book that you just finished. And I can't wait to connect with you again.
I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to interview you on Tuesday. Thank you so much for your thoughtful questions, and I really appreciate you very much too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Bella. Okay, see you soon
I'll see
then.
you soon. All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.